Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is the sound, the horn for the final ETF2L week game, or I should say round game, as it's been a very, very interesting ETF2L season. That has been season 51. And obviously, it's the most interesting caster at your side here, Dave. But I'm here too as well. Turbotabs. It's nice to meet you. Anyway, Dave, you finally made it. The most interesting character, and you've been dodging us all season. Where have you been?
I've been super busy, Turbo, I'm afraid. So, yeah, haven't been able to cast at all until now, and got the best partner I could have asked for. Best producer as well, Samus as well, too.
Oh, you sweet boy, you. You know what? Just for that, I'm just going to be extra nice. Okay, so, Dave, we have got the two teams tonight. It is Dirty Maggots versus Alien Workshop in our final ETF2L game for this season before playoffs. So don't, quite count your chickens just yet. This could still be probably this certain people's season. If we look at the ETF2L tables, I'm looking and glancing over here, Dave. The teams are just about decided, but they haven't really been decided who is going to be seeded where. That's based on tonight's gameplay and how Dirty Maggots do tonight.
Yeah, it looks like if they do win cleanly 6-0, they should get up to second place in the table, if my maths is correct. So,
1, 2, 3, 4.
It'll give them a little bit of a seeding, right. And probably means they avoid the big boys until later on in the bracket, I suppose. And yeah, from Alien Workshop side of things, probably not too much to play for tonight, but I believe they're going to land, so maybe just looking to get a little bit of momentum going forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting tonight that it's going to be a quick, 15 minutes sort of jobbo. This team has got, a couple of LAN champions on them. They're very experienced. They're very experienced on LAN as well. I am positively terrified for the opposing team. How about you?
I mean, I never kind of underestimate Alien Workshop. I think
Whoa, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Alien Workshop. Alien Workshop is the one with the LAN winner on it. They're the one that has been making upsets LANs. They're a LAN team. They're going to beat Dirty Maggots 15 minutes. Who do you think I was? Dirty Maggots? No, come on now. They're missing Voxy. Voxy switched sides because he saw the writing on the wall, David.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, that is quite a big pickup. We kind of see Alien Workshop as being this kind of lower prem, kind of top mid one, top div one kind of team. They've been up for quite a while now, but picking up someone of Vox's caliber is quite a big thing. And yeah, obviously someone with a ton of experience for them, and probably helps them going into the offline games as well.
Now, Dirty Maggots, though, to sing their praises, they've been doing all right in the season. I think a lot of them kind of counted them to be a top dog, as they've still been playing the seasons. They've still been playing the LANs, as you know, Dave. And, well, now Mandem is back, and Mandem kind of put them in their place during the regular ETF2L season. And I wonder if Dirty Maggots might even come across as a bit disappointed, or do you think they're doing fine? Morale is just okay. It's all about just getting into the playoffs. It's not about where you end up in the playoffs.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, it's good to have kind of that mentality of like when you're beating the top team, when you are the first seed. That obviously gives you a lot of positivity that you can take forward. I mean, they've never really had that on Dirty Maggots. I mean, some of the players obviously did win the summer season, but they've also, over the last kind of 6 months or so, they have shown remarkable consistency, and ended up finishing second last season. Ended up finishing second at Uberfest as well. So they know they can certainly compete with all of the best teams, including Mandem, and so again, they're a very, very solid team. They've shown a lot of consistency. So I'd expect them to be there or thereabouts. And as you say, at the end of the day, the regular season doesn't matter that much. It's what's going to happen this weekend.
Yes, you have reminded me as well. We do have a wonderful playoff happening at the weekend, so do stay tuned. I'll talk a bit more about it at the end of our programming as well, but that is scheduled for this weekend, so please don't be living under a rock. Don't think you're not well and informed. There is going to be a nice playoff games happening this weekend. And speaking of information, don't forget to support the scene. This is the whole reason, all the pinnacle points, the tippity top of the mountain is the reason why we're doing this. And you can tip the scales here, Dave, if you support Poland by going and donating straight to the land cause and maybe even buying a t-shirt or a cup or two. You can kind of see these players maybe playing on a nice little stage over at Poland. Ooh, aha.
Yeah, that's a very exciting thing to look forward to. Always good to support the scene as best you can, because we are into the latter years now, I have to say, of Team Fortress 2, but it's good to see. This just, when I was at Uberfest, obviously, there's just so much passion from so many people pulling together to make these lands as good as possible, and I'm sure Poland will be no different.
Oh, you people and your whole latter way thinking. The people have been thinking TF2 has been dead since on arrival. The amount of it's been 17 years now I've been hearing this, and well, what is one more year? Anyway, if you've been living under a rock, I will catch you up on the Alien Workshop and the Dirty Maggots lineups. So, Dave, players, pay attention here. As we've got over on the side of Alien Workshop, we've got Lucky on Medic, Phoenix and Kazuki on Soldier. We've got Yimpo on Demoman. And it will be Vox Tech and Omga on Scout tonight. That's what's been tripping me up. They've got like 1 million scouts on their roster. How the hell did Tomato make it on this? Anyway, moving on. Over on the Dirty Maggots side, we have got Geordie and KN on Soldier classes. Bot Mode is going to be playing on the Scout class alongside AF. And we've got Juxta on Medic. And we've got the lovable... Ooh, I have to scroll down. Maybe? Zams, there we go. I had to scroll down for him. There we go. So yeah, Zams is on a demo man.
So low in the alphabet that doesn't even show up.
Yeah. I have to scroll down for Z, I'm afraid. It's a real problem. Anyway, so obviously these two teams have been shaken up a little bit. The most obvious glaring one is Voxy jumping ship from yesteryear to now this current year playing on Alien Workshop. Is that going to swing things a little bit? Do you think this... Can you have insider information in TF2?
You can definitely have insider information. I don't know how useful it is going to be when there's potentially a fairly big skill difference between the teams. Obviously knowing what teams like to do, what you're expecting from them can be very beneficial, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. At the end of the day, a lot of these teams play fairly similar stuff. We don't see too many teams these days come out with crazy strats and crazy ideas. But, just knowing tendencies. I mean, to be honest, I think everyone at this stage of the game knows what Geordie is going to do. He's going to be holding W. He's going to be just shooting rockets at all your players' faces. So, probably not too pivotal in terms of the inside information, but might give them a slight leg up to make it a little bit more competitive.
Well, what about the whole David and Goliath matchup? Obviously, I'm a bit kind of starstruck by Alien Workshop, but everybody else has them penciled so much lower against Dirty Maggots. Does that include Dirty Maggots as well? Can Dirty Maggots be kind of sucker punched by a team that's not even their radar?
I mean, it's a potential banana skin, and we've seen them, particularly offline. They've had performances, Alien Workshop, where they've been able to contest some of these better teams. But as I say, I think there is a bit of a gap. I think we have seen Dirty Maggots haven't really struggled with some of these lower prem teams in really the last couple of seasons. They've been pretty consistently beating them, so it might be a little bit close, but I don't expect it to be a true pitfall.
All right, so our first map is going to be Granary. It is a very weird long form of Granary. Apparently there's like a separate version within versions, like an RC19, but it's version A3. It's like a small little kind of capture password. Anyway, Granary is our first map. Is that going to tip the scale in your prediction at all? Who do you think is going to win this one?
I mean, I'm still going to go for Dirty Maggots, but I think it is a is an interesting map. There is a little bit of a wildcard factor. Certainly the demo face-off on these mid-fights is going to be very, very important. But, you know, from what I've seen, I've always been very impressed with Samus on this map. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, once more, has a good game.
Well, call me Google, because I'm feeling lucky, because I'm certain, something in my bones, there's some sort of legacy of brewing here from Alien Workshop in the run-up to LAN, and I think this is going to start on this map of Granary right here. Oh, what perfect timing. They just started readying up. It's like I've been given foresight by a lovely producer. Anyway, if you're just joining us, this is our coverage for the week-to-week games of ETF2L Season 51. I'm Turbo Tabs. With me is Dave. It's Dirty Maggots versus Alien Workshop. It's map 1. And I'm going to put the pressure on Dave immediately by asking him what's happening on midday.
Well, I'm just going through Garage, so it looks like they're going to play a lot of their team over this right-hand side. Dirty Maggots. Early aggression, both soldiers jumping in quite deep. Kane actually going onto the lab, but now he's dropping down on towards Lucky. Misses a lot of rockets. Lucky's very, very weak, and Crater does go down. But Dirty Maggots have been minced in the meantime. Boxing now on the chase, going forward. Phoenix looking for a bomb as well. Looks like Juxta and Af will get out of there, so crucially keeping their medic alive, keeping that Uber advantage.
I put all the chips onto black, and somehow it actually landed on black. I can't believe it, Dave. I'm rich on clout points. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I didn't realize Kane was such a lamp player, you know, those sort of roamers that just sit on the lamp and just wait and bide their time and try to be annoying. Well, they just pretended he wasn't really there and just started to get things going on Alien Workshop, I should say. And it paid off in dividends. Their speed and haste got them a nice mid-win.
Absolutely, but now they've got to worry about this Uber potentially coming in. Just Omda's looking to sneak in behind, but he's going to meet two players on that flank, and everyone else from the Alien Workshop combo is just backed up, but provided a little bit of resistance, thinking about maybe forcing Juxta to pop out, but he hasn't had to use it, but now Alien Workshop are close to getting their own Uber.
So they do delay things, but they go for a little flank play. If you can collapse the flanking, you can maybe get the back caps going on a map like Granary and just completely turn those losses into a full fat win of a round. But they will lose two players, but it doesn't really hurt their grand scheme of things going for that play. They get the pick onto KN, who was just poking from the stairway, and wow, they're just holding in yard until he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose a soldier playing aggressively like that, obviously they don't have to do anything, they can just put themselves outside and nice and safe. Don't have to press it, as you can wait on the spawn, go in and off press if they want. It looks like Kane's just come back up on the soldier class, so no real shenanigans going in there. I think he's still on the gunboats as well, so nothing doing there, but probably looking at another kind of approach.
I have to admit, this is quite cool, calm and collected from Alien Workshop. I do wonder if it's a bit of the Voxy tech, or if it's me putting too much stock in this boy, just seeing like this towering pillar of a competitor just kind of inserted into this roster. But they're going to go for a double soldier kind of spam affair from the top side. They pop in Uber at the final moments, and they will respond with Lucky, but he has to do a lot of multi-ing to try and keep everybody alive. He will have one slip through the cracks, that is Phoenix, and in the post little fight where they send Jordy out to see if he can find Lucky in the tail end, they won't find the Lucky kill, but they find so much ground so that they are actually making the push into last. KN gets kind of bit slapped out of the air though, so maybe they're going to have to cancel this one. And the soldier is playing off the chaos. He will enter the fight during all of it, and now is a bit of scrambled eggs for everyone over on Dirty Maggots. They've left one scout in top Arctic, but they're not worried about him going for the back cap. He's actually going to overcommit now to see if he can get a kill anywhere, but still won't find one, and they stabilize here over on Alien Workshop.
Yeah, it's a really nice trade to start with from Dirty Maggots to get in control of the point with how much damage they got down. But then, when it was up to them to force away into last, didn't quite work out quite as well. Geordie this time going in for a plate once more, not quite working out for him. So at the moment, Alien Workshop have a pick to work with, but I don't think that's going to be enough to push mid.
They have a lot of respect here for Dirty Maggots. Maybe it might have been all the Chaos Dave, maybe it might have been just everybody throwing in their lives over on Dirty Maggots, but they just wasted enough time for them not to feel confident with their little advantage. So they're going to back off, they're going to just sit on the yard for now, and it's still a 0-0 game. I was kind of maybe thinking about making a prediction on the timeline rather than the score line, but it's looking good for Alien Workshop.
Yeah, they look well drilled. They look like they know what they're doing. They look like they know all their holds and everything. They're not getting completely overwhelmed just yet by what we expect is the superiority of the Dirty Maggotts, particularly.
KN, he's in, he's diving, he's jumping, he's diving. He can't quite dive on top of Lucky though, and will play off into the respawn. But Geordie still fishing, seeing if he can be the second soldier to kind of get this kill into Lucky. But they just reset here over on Alien Workshop. No advancement.
Yeah, I don't think Geordie really wants to get caught there. You know, once one of your soldiers has gone down, that's just a cue to play a little bit safer. He's going to spam out. He's going to pad his damage on the logs a little bit every chance he gets, really. But Katie is back up now. I'm actually seeing bot mode. Looks like it's gone over, and it changed over to the sharpshooting Australian class.
Yeah, it is a kind of a wild child of a change, because they obviously see KN go down and bot mode is the one that comes back on sniper, and that's a long walk really for a scout to go back and make that little change-a-roo. So, but they've spotted him now, they've heard the first shot, so they should definitely know that bot mode is there now and adjust accordingly. You already see Lucky out of all of sight lines here possible, but it now fragments their gameplay a little bit differently, where he might be a bit more soldier susceptible now that he has to defend against the sniper.
Yeah, Granary is a kind of a tough map to snipe on, especially. I mean, yeah, Lucky taking a bit of spam there and actually does get forced very, very nicely, Jordy. Just playing off those comms, knowing that Lucky had eaten so much damage, it would be a very, very easy force. There we go. Perfectly played.
Yeah, he took that first initial rocket and he was kind of a hot target for at least a good 10 seconds there. You just know that some soldier had to just eke their way in. It was a nice easy jump as well. One rocket required only to get in. So with the Uber charge cleanly out of the clutches of Alien Workshop, it's Dirty Maggotts' game to play, but they have to play it with a sniper though, Dave.
Yeah, they only have 60 seconds as well to get on this second point, but the 2 picks should be relatively
the trap
trivial.
Oh, it doesn't quite catch Jugster. It was close, but not quite the cigar I was looking for, Yimpo. And Voxy trying to make the best of a bad news. Lucky's going to go down as well. Yimpo gets followed up by KN, who snuck in behind in front of their faces as well. And 2 scouts will come back to the world of the living. They will go back down again. It was looking so good for Alien Workshop for a good portion of the game.
Yeah, just get a little bit caught there, thinking that they were going to get spawns in a little bit sooner than they were, and just, you know, inviting that Uber into them, and with the extra plays, even with that sniper back on the point, it was more than enough for Dirty Maggotts, and they do take the first round.
Now, TF2 is a cruel game. Usually losing that first round loses you so much power, Dave, in the grand scheme of things. Now they can just drag their heels if they wanted to and play really dirty if they wanted to live up to the Dirty Maggot name. But we're going to another mid. Something has to happen. They can't play dirty here, as they're going to throw in a bit of defensive array from Dirty Maggotts this time. They're not kind of playing the lamp gameplay. They're just going to chill and recircle back and deal with all this aggression that kind of sucker punched them in the first round. And they will keep Lucky alive this round, however, over on the side of Alien Workshop, thanks to Voxy.
Yeah, just about doing a really good job defending his medic there, just playing on the beam, playing on his heels, and absorbing the aggression came in. I mean, everyone was already quite low, to be honest, because so much damage was done when Kazuki, Phoenix, and Onga all went forward. They took out Juxta very, very quickly.
Sams, where's the health pack? Oh my god, he actually got the health pack, but he still got meat shot by one singular shot from Voxy. That's a cruel, cruel game.
Absolutely. Bot mode getting caught as well. Jordy's thinking about going in for something. He walked in through that catwalk, but saw kind of 6 players on the ground waiting for him, and probably thought better of it with 2 picks already down for them. So they're going to move through the left yard here.
Okay.
Looking to continue this momentum.
Geordie jumping in, predicting that they'll be pushing right, where they actually push left, and they will pop off Uber. I'm not really sure why they needed to pop off Uber there over on Alien Workshop, but I mean, celebrations, fireworks set, as they have claimed the second point, but now they've got 100% Uber charge to deal with against Dirty Maggotts, but they're seeing if they can play the point anyway, and they will force the Uber charge out of them over on Dirty Maggotts, so they're not capping last anytime soon, but maybe this is still a success for Alien Workshop. Depends on the second hold.
think they got what they wanted. They got the Uber out
Oh, the
of
trap.
the hands of Juxta, but I've had to give him a couple
Phoenix?
of plays. But Phoenix actually targeting himself in through Z, going to get one pick onto bot mode. But now the bomb is coming in, it is towards Lucky, but he's going to surf away nicely out then. Vox is still on the beam, still doing God's work.
Okay, we're getting a bit debated by everybody here. Some people are committing in and thinking they're doing massive damage, and then some people are overextending some of this. So there's a bit of kind of trading back and forth between both Dirty Maggots and Alien Workshop here. A bit of baiting by both opposing roamers, tisk tisk tisk. And now we're back to an even stage game. Somehow Alien Workshop managed to turn that around, and it's up to them to kind of come up with a plan to get this last point away from Dirty Maggots.
Yeah, just playing in the left there at the moment, posturing up, getting the buffs in, thinking about where the soldiers are going to launch themselves, because he's pretty minced immediately. Phoenix gets a little bit further in, gets a nice little rocket on.
Okay.
Actually, Samus is going to get taken out. I think I was doing a long-range pipe or roller, but everyone else down is just Voxy and Lucky alive, and they're going to have to scoot back probably all the way to mid here.
So it's the 3-man sack from Alien Workshop, but usually when you make this sort of play, you kind of cement yourself in a good position to do an Uber or hold on second. You know, you really don't want to give it up for 3 like that. But the fact that they committed 3 bodies and they didn't really have a plan for second makes me kind of wonder why commit 3 in then.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being a 4-man sack. I think that was the problem. When your 3-man sacks involve 4 people dying, that's never a good sign. Omga's going to get taken out. Phoenix just walks into Kane as well. That is 2 big casualties. Now everyone is really going to have to rock back in. Lucky's eating some spam in the meantime. Looking rough for Alien Workshop here.
Yeah, Geordie's just buying some space for his teams, getting in, finding the first initial aggro. And Juxta on the back cap duty. I say back cap duty, they're putting all in. All the chips are going on to black, and my god, it's come up red. Very deep red, as they've actually got the kill onto Lucky. I don't think the medic class is very equipped for back cap. Do you, Dave?
No, I can't say I've done it too much throughout my medic career, but Phoenix has been able to jump himself in, has been able to get that foresight on to Juxta, so not all is lost at the moment for Alien Workshop, but luck is even back up that they're going to try and pump his heels into this fight.
Okay, they're committing to this fight. They're feeling strong over here over on Alien Workshop. They hold their ground and they're holding it decently well. It's about these scouts now. Chariot versus chariot. Horses versus horse. Nay, I say, nay, as they get the kill onto Af. Zams is there. He's just there. He didn't do anything. What do you want me to tell you?
Both the scouts forgot for a second that Zams was just on top of Lucky there for quite a while. Probably could have maybe reloaded some stinkies and killed him, but went for the pipes, hit one pipe, wasn't enough. Nice little air shot though.
Oh my god, Phoenix masterfully kites 2 soldiers away, keeps himself alive, and the Onga manages to hold on for dear life against the scout follow-up. Af is going to get maybe... Okay, no, he's actually not going to get punished at all. He actually threads the needle and gets out. They're still not over, and Juxta might have gone down from hailing his scout buddy who managed to thread the needle from earlier, but Kazuki is the one that dies the sinful price.
Absolutely, just about managing to navigate that there were Dirty Maggots. It looked very rough for them, just that scout medic really far forward, really appetizing for Alien Workshop to chase them. I mean, they've chased them all the way and forced them back. Getting control of a yard now for Alien Workshop, but Dirty Maggots are, I mean, they're looking to maneuver something maybe a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more active than their counterparts were when they were holding at this point, but now everything's just settled down for a minute as both teams look to reassess how they're going to approach this next point.
Okay, so it looks like we're going for a shutter play over on Box Tech and Company, seeing if they can maybe edge the point while these 2 soldiers make their way through ramp room and pressure the flank. There's some nice rockets, but there's no real follow-up or no support really. Kind of just playing into the hands of KN, who has corners on his side. Corners, Steve.
Absolutely, but Zams doesn't have a shutter in his side and he gets mulched as well. Omo going down as well, so 2 players down apiece. But the spawns are going to be quicker for Alien Workshop. I don't know if they're going to be quite in time to really make a push and really hold W into their opponents. They've still got all that spam to deal with. Both soldiers are up at the moment for Dirty Maggots.
That was naive a little bit from Voxy's playing that far forward. They pop off Ubers, but it's a bit more multing from Lucky. Lucky needs to take a bit of a scout taxi back. They've got better high ground over on Alien Workshop, but they haven't really got the numbers, so they decide to do a high tail spin back to mid, and hopefully their respawners will get back to them in time before Dirty Maggots will.
Yeah, Phoenix was really, really low as well, so they had absolutely no control of that left yard. So they just thought better of it to really take a chance of a messy DM fest when they could be flanked. So just back up to mid. I mean, we talk about this being a 7CB map where you've got that yard as kind of that extra control point, but at the end of the day, it doesn't actually change anything. You don't get any, any forward spawns or anything from having control of that yard. It's just a little bit off territory, so it feels a lot more free to give up.
So far, the game has been breaking down to what seems to be like naive pushes from Alien Workshop, maybe costly pushes, and then a bit of maybe lazy Dirty Maggot pushes where they think like, oh, we've got to pick. This team should be worse. We're just Ubering in. That's a Hail Mary if I've ever seen one. They will force the Uber out of Jugster because he wasn't really sat on the shutter door, and they lose Yimpo because of it. They commit in with Azuki, however. He will get a double kill. That's a very fortunate sort of double down from Alien Workshop, and if they keep Lucky alive, it's going to pay off in dividends here. The respawner should be coming out roughly now. Phoenix wants to commit in a bit sooner rather than later, not wait for those respawners. It's a ×2 cap for now, so it might be tempting for Alien Workshops to still think about contesting this.
Yeah, I mean,
Moxie's in.
They haven't got too much time off before the round reset, so I don't even know if necessarily this is good for them, because they're going to be going back to a mid-fight here if they don't allow Dirty Maggots to cap, which they haven't done. Whether Dirty Maggots wanted to cap or not,
well, there is a bit of overtime though, need I remind you, so the game will still continue, but look at it burning at an accelerated rate. KN actually wants the game to maybe go a little bit longer, and it will dip over. Stalemate is the name of the game for Alien Workshop, but it's fine. They're just going to go back to mid, and it's been 1-for-1 so far in the mid fight.
Yeah, definitely a little bit strange there. If anything, probably allowing their opponents onto the point, getting the cap, and then utilising momentum to retake the fight would have been better for Alien Workshop, but as it is, they're going to have to settle for another mid-fight at a 1-0 deficit.
Who's to blame here? If there's a blame, there can be some claim over in this match. Surely someone is not quite picking up their weight, but we'll see. We've still got another mid to kind of pin the tail, as we have Geordie initially going in, just buying some eyes and ears for Dirty Maggots to get aggressive, and the scouts alone are strong enough to keep Juxter alive in the ramp room. Very nicely played by Dirty Maggots. A clean sweep.
Yeah, complete ace mid. Lucky took about 5,000 damage as soon as he entered that mid fight. I don't know how he died that fast. That was insane. But everyone went very, very low for Dirty Maggots, but the focus fire wasn't quite there, and they keep all sticks alive, and now they've got their boys on last already.
Yeah, Voxy comes immediately out and scout, tries to kind of buy some room for his team, but they don't really all synchronize at the same time. I guess they don't want to take the exact same splash damage, but they need to start getting aggressive. I mean, sure, you don't want to die, you don't want to put an extra death on that log, but you will get an extra round on that log if you don't do anything.
Absolutely, they did their best to break through, but that was an absolute devastating chokehold from Dirty Maggots. That's about as one-sided a round as I've seen. That was super, super quick, absolutely devastating 6-0 mid-fight, and then just completely locking down that last one. Not even able to leave were Alien Workshop, so now they're at a pretty devastating 2-round deficit and looking to rebound with hopefully a much better mid-fight.
Well, we found the saving grace here for Dirty Maggots. It seems ramp room, as we're all playing from ramp room over on Dirty Maggots. Double Soldiers sending it in. Geordie wants to play the lamp this time, and they get a nice early kill onto Onga. That's annoying, as Geordie will go down, but Soldiers are overrated anyway, as Phoenix will also go down over on the Soldier class. And when we do a little head count, we realise we're a bit worse for wear, but Foxy realised, oh wait, I'm a land champion. I can just go in and kill anybody I want if I want to. So he will walk in, get an easy meat shot or two, through and get a kill out of him. He's fishing for this KN kill, but annoyingly, Juxta's going to heal him back up. And Voxy, to say it's a 2 versus 1, he ain't scared. This man is more than 2. He is more than the 1. He wants to keep going in. He sees red, and he will start clicking. They pop off their own blue, and they will respond with the red Uber charge. They're trying to maybe body block Lucky in, and manages to weasel his way out as the rest of the cabin and crew have turned up for Alien Workshop.
Yeah, brave Uber exchange, but Omga gets caught in having to try and bail out some of his teammates, particularly his combo. Unfortunately, they did get the combo out, get Lucky out of there, but have lost that flank scout. So opportunity maybe for DM to try and make something happen. Suzuki's looking to shut down any intentions that they do have. Bomo takes a ton of damage in the meantime as well, but Lucky gets caught in the shutter.
I'm pretty sure he had an Uber charge as well, so I see his medic gun kind of fizzling away, so that's got to hurt the soul. Medics and doors, you know, can't trust them, can't blame them. Anyway, sentry gun on built on last for Alien Workshop. It's the little sentry that could, in what could be a very devastating push, as they're pushing already without Uber charge, and Zams is kind of reminded why people don't like to do that.
Absolutely, Snipe coming through, but now the Uber is here up for the Dirty Maggots. They're chasing players back into spawn. Phoenix is going to get caught into the door as well, trying to rotate over to the other side, but Geordie is looking to shut that down. Subcap time coming in at the moment from Asp. I'm just having to chase back onto Geordie, but a lot of time Kazuki's there in with the bomb, but it's not enough. Just about the cap comes through. It's actually Juxta who comes through with that cap.
There was a couple of seconds there where I was thinking maybe there was some building blocks for Alien Workshop to make this comeback and the last point, as they were playing the point so heavily on Dirty Maggots, but they will edge it out in this case. But it was a lot of damage, could have maybe flied the other way if there was just that little bit more and maybe an extra couple of pipes here and there. It probably doesn't help that Voxy is melting him instantaneously on defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. Over onto another mid fight now. Impo's got a decent amount of space on this mid, battling once more with Zams this time. It seems to be getting mostly the better of it, but it's going to be Phoenix looking in to go in for a bomb. Geordie is pinned back just for a second. Kazuki's in onto him as well, but just surfs it forward, tries to get down onto those players in that garage area, and lots of players are out of the fight for Alien Workshop. They're going to have to rotate round.
Now, usually a team sees their players and the situation go down this well, but this team has Voxy on it. Voxy definitely wants to go in. He's kind of saying to his team, trust me, bro, I can definitely make this fight happen. So they make the can-do push in no matter what their kind of spirit and their better intentions are telling them on the inside. And Voxy, they get sort of reminded why he can't really just go in and fight 4 versus 5.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3-0 down, it's 8 minutes left. They probably have to chance their hand a little bit, certainly not out of the Cadus playbook, but it doesn't quite work out for them. And now Geordie looking to get some action in onto last as well. Bomo is cleared up for the meantime, but KN is still on top of the pipes, and actually everyone's just gone down here for Dirty Maggots, so they're going to have to back out from now. There's no pipe from Zams onto Omga, but Voxy is on his case.
Oh no, a missed crossbow from Juxta means Zams will go down. We're back to capping. Okay, KM will also go down as well. I will highlight that Aliens Workshop defense was a little better there over on last point, because they were all aggroing at the same time. You know, they were sharing, they were trading. I couldn't really find the easy pick for Alien Workshop because they were all kind of synchronous and coming out at the same time, whilst before it was like, Voxy, go out, and hopefully your death will be enough.
Oh, Geordie lands on Lucky just as that Uber fades, and it looks like it's going to shake out very nicely for Dirty Maggots here. Omga's taken out. Just one player they have to deal with is Voxy on the mid, but he is himself going to just run away from a big blanket of red.
Look at this hatred. They're keeping not one player, but 2 players behind to deal with Voxy. They're already backcapping them, I guess, if you think of Voxy as the most forward player. But no, the hatred spews hot over on Dirty Maggots against their former compadre, and now they've got them in the kind of captain's chair over at last point, and 4 rounds could be on the scoreboard at this rate, as they have the Uber charge ready and going.
Yeah, I was going to say the Uber charge was a little bit closer than it looks, but it's because Luxy's up on the crit squig. I don't know if it's going to come out in time, though. There's a heavy out for Omga. He's going to get pinned back. He's going to get taken out by Zams, actually. Cap time coming in now from Af, but Phoenix is there to dunk him. He's going to take him out of the fight just about for now. Quitch is up. It's going to be doing his best. Voxy is cleaning everyone up. There's so much cap time on it. Zams is still hidden in the corner in the spawn door looking to just spawn camp players while it's all going down. But it looks like the crits was enough, even though Lucky went down in the meantime, so Jux is still going to have some advantage.
Yeah, it's not the picturesque ending that you're kind of hoping for, but even those sort of situations where you're an Uber down, you should kind of just count your blessings, and they did make the last defense. And even though there was a couple of things that went awry with like Onga going down and the heavy weapons guy so early, and obviously Lucky still going down, and despite only using a couple of seconds of the crits, Af going down in second now, and God, this ramp room has been an absolute thorn in the side of Alien Workshop. They haven't really managed to crack KN out of it. Okay, I say that, he's immediately been cracked, pardon my French, as we're going to go back in with the Uber charge. We don't press the scoreboard here over on the ETF2L Week 7 game. We are going to just... Okay, nothing's happening though. Where is everyone?
Yeah, they don't have players. They're still waiting on like 3 spawns. So Vox is just hiding in that Z area, looking to get involved once more. But I mean, that Uber didn't work out too badly. They only really got 1 pick and they didn't get the cap off the back of it. So now Lucky's going to have his own advantage to work with. They still don't have a demo though, so it is difficult to really leverage it.
Okay, so bot mode's going to be ignored as well. So Voxy is playing single player Team Fortress 2. He's going to get the Uber charge popped on him, and that medic is not going to heal anybody else. Lucky is literally putting all his chips onto the Voxy Black again, and he's paying off. He's actually winning big. Gets the kill onto Zams, or is that Zams more like throwing, really?
I don't know. I don't think they knew exactly how they wanted to play that Dirty Maggots, because everyone had taken so much damage from Kazuki in the meantime. They probably weren't ready for Voxy to just run in and follow up on the back of it.
This is going to
They
hurt.
have their own Uber now. Impo and Phoenix both going down in double quick time. Omga's caught with 2 players around him, including a sniper. But he's going to win out. It's going to.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, so I wasn't aware of your game. Oh my, it cleans up the flank quite tidily, and that puts Dirty Maggots in an awkward place because they can't keep going forward and just ignoring this scout. He will lose out on Kazuki, his teammate, however, but Onga coming in clutch for his team.
Absolutely. I think there's perhaps a little bit of a threat from K in there coming up on the sniper in that kind of leapfrog scenario where both teams were kind of leapfrogging Uber repeatedly. But it's worked out for Alien Workshop, I guess. Voxy's now chasing in.
Oh, Lucky, he's got Geordie kind of coming in from behind, and they, instead of actually going straight for the Lucky kill, they get the kill onto Yimpo first and then get the pick onto a Lucky. So that's, I'm guessing, what happens in warfare. If you just push so far forward, you can end up being kind of swallowed whole by all these players that you leave behind in the aggression.
Yeah, it's kind of descended into a little bit of a DM fest at the moment. We've got Dirty Maggots taking their initials and just playing it out as best they can. There's I mean, less than 3 minutes left now. It's already 3-0. It's probably GG for this map, but still time to pad a few logs, maybe.
Yes, I know people are probably thinking, well, it's fine, we got the freedom config, it's going to come in and start, you know, helping out Alien Workshop. No, excuse me, that's we're still playing regular week games. That's the playoff section, okay? We only see that that wacky rule set until this weekend. So for now, they're just going to have to eat their 2 minutes of displeasure over on Alien Workshop and just have a very slow view of them getting their ass kicked.
Absolutely. Kazuki going in for something. I mean, there's a cap coming down into mid. That might get cleaned up, maybe? I don't know. Like, Kane is there. Ooh, he hits some nice rockets on to Voxy. And, I mean, this mid cap is still on. We've still got the scout there as well. Pomo to follow up. Kazuki's come back to mid now after getting a lot of cap time down on second himself. So, very, very scrappy right now for this final minute of gameplay.
I mean, this is great though for Alien Workshop. It's got a bit of a morale boost. Obviously, it's nice to blow off some steam, and who knows, maybe down the pencil of ETF2L's rulebook, if you keep going in that rulebook deep enough about, you know, tiebreakers when it comes to playoffs, maybe kills is one of them.
Perhaps. I don't know exactly how that would work out, but yeah, Zam's slightly sold out by this team. Then everyone ran back to almost last really, while he was just left in the yard and had so many blue players facing him down. Easily cleaned up. Only a couple of us. Maybe a chance actually for Alien Workshop to get around here if they can press on the button before these spawns are up.
Oh no, the jetpack, I should say, the parachute has come out for Geordie. It's impossible now, as they will make a real meat of fighting against Phoenix, and Phoenix is like, what am I supposed to do? I haven't got a shotgun, well, at least not equipped.
Oh, Bobo. Nice little snipe. He is going to get taken out immediately, though. Uber is out here for Lucky and friends. There's 6 seconds left in the round. It's going to be Juxta popping his own Uber. Vox is going to get taken out. And sadly, no round for Alien Workshop. It's just going to be 3-0 to Dirty Maggots.
I know it's 3-0 on the scoreboard, but it feels more like a 3-1, a 3-2 in my heart. It was looking a bit competitive, if I do dare say it myself, Dave, from Alien Workshop. Or, am I delusional here? Am I coping?
No. I mean, before the game, Samus was saying that this is going to be a really, really double quick game. It's going to be over. And it wasn't the case. It was a full 30 minutes. It was only 3-0. I mean, that second round really was the killer, just how fast it was. Immediately after that round reset, they just got absolutely stomped. And, when you are up against a team that is superior to you, have more experience, have, a lot more coordination as well, it's tough to come back from that 2-0 scoreline. They got the extra round for their troubles, but certainly Alien Workshop, making it a contest a bit for large portions of that game, but you can just see that Dirty Maggots, they have another level to reach that Alien Workshop can't quite match.
Well, Dave, it's my favourite part and the most hated part by all these Prem players, and that is our analytical take over the logs about what we think they did so badly in the game. We're going to use our entire combined TF2 prowess of what could only be described as pretty boomerish and oh dear God, and we're going to tell these players what they did wrong. So, Dave, if you had to take a shot and insult these Prem players, who did the worst? Who's doing badly? What's going wrong?
I mean, looking purely at the numbers, obviously Phoenix's numbers don't look great, you have to say. Like, no damage, no kills. Quite a lot of deaths as well, most deaths on the server, so... I mean, he had a couple of moments where it looked like he was making a play, but it did feel that anything that was kind of working out well for Alien Workshop was either a case of them capitalizing off Dirty Maggots making a mistake, getting a little bit overconfident, or it was a case of it all being on Voxy. They were playing so much around Voxy, so much around his impact on the beam, that I think particularly the flank didn't find as much value throughout the game, and it made it kind of difficult for them just how centralized they were around the Voxy gameplay. And overall, Dirty Maggots, I mean, they certainly allowed Voxy to get some work done, but they overall had the better of the gameplay, I'd say.
All right, here's my shitter opinion incoming. It is, I'm kind of curious to know that Alien Workshop, the couple of lads that have been around and been playing together for a long time, they know each other, they've been playing with each other for a long time. You'd think this team would have some plays in their back pocket, like they're at last. They've got Uber versus Uber. Usually you have some sort of, plan, idea about what you're going to do, and then like if that plan goes awry. But I didn't really see that. I just saw, it felt like hightailing it. Like everybody's just like, I'm just going to go in and like, oh yeah, that sounds fun, me too. And they just kind of jump in. And I don't really see the tactics at play a little bit. And I don't know, am I wrong here? Is 4-man, sack into last the greatest gameplay of TF2? Or is Dirty Maggots just looking a lot more organized?
Well, one thing I will say is I've played with Kazuki for quite a long time, and certainly one of his best factors is that he can kind of change the game on an instant. He plays very much on instinct, very much in the zone, rather than being someone who likes to play kind of super kind of set piece, kind of set up, this is exactly how we bomb, this is exactly where we land, this is who we're shooting. He kind of just kind of plays on the fly a little bit, and I think you're probably correct to say that like they didn't seem like they had super super kind of smart, involved kind of set piece plays for when it did come down to the stalemates. It seemed like they were just relying on a kind of a moment of magic through the Kazuki or Phoenix, and they didn't really find it enough.
Well, that was our negative portion of it. But what did you like about that game? If I had to kind of shoehorn and immediately start taking the Voxy pick, I'm going to take him right now. I thought this guy was doing pretty well to say, like, the whole world is against him, but he's actually sometimes punching the world just right back.
Yeah, absolutely. But it does look like they're getting readied up and they're getting started.
You're right.
In this second map of Gullywash.
You are 100% right. If you're just joining us, this is our ETF2L final week game of the season 51. I'm Turbo Tabs. I'm joined with Dave. I'm with Dirty Maggots. And Dirty Maggots, they're playing dirty. They've got the parachute out on mid. And they're flying Geordie pie high into the sky. And he's raining hellfire. And hellfire is being eaten alive by all of the members of this poor alien workshop. They have managed to keep Lucky alive, but that's just because he never got in the mid, Dave.
That was a super long-range sniper rocket there from Geordie onto Omnia, but as you say, Lucky barely got involved in the mid-fight. They tried to go up their opponent's side, but didn't get involved whatsoever. So scared of that parachuting soldier.
Well, Voxy, that was awfully close there. It's very lucky that Zams could not see that shutter door open through a wall, a window, and whatever eyesight impairments that is dealing with his vertebrae right now. So they will keep the sticky traps on the right-hand side, though. He's hoping that eventually someone's going to walk past those stickies despite seeing them right in front of them.
Yeah, he's backed up now, so he's not... I guess, yeah, he has debt, because he no longer has a watcher for him, but as you say, be able to just about get through that. So they are stuck on last now, but they do have even Ubers. They do have some off classes coming up. Expected off classes, Pyro, Engineer, Centrigun, things you'd expect on a Gullywash last.
Now, fortunately, I think last were a bit of a weak will for the poor alien workshops on Granary, but I feel like it's a bit more paint by numbers over on Gullywash when it comes to the last defenses. But people have been starting to figure out that there is a bit noticeable cracks for dealing with last on Gullywash, and that is just dealing with the point play, is just turning up the pressure cooker, doing basically 5 plays happening at once. Where is everyone, by the way?
So, yeah, they had... Seems they had some kind of issue with the timer of being wrong. So they're going to reset. They're just going to go back to last, give up the mid, obviously, on Alien Workshop. So we're just going to reset in the situation we were, but this time with the correct round timer, hopefully.
Okay, all right. So I wonder how this will work then. Are they going to stop the game at any point? Because it looks like they're still playing to me, but in a weird sort of DM-y way.
Yeah, very much DM at the moment while someone probably looks up exactly what the command is, I imagine.
These are players, they're not server admins. They don't know a single lick about what to do when it comes to the server. So whilst they're starting to press their Google binds and figure out what they need to do, I guess run it back, Dave. What can we say about Gullywash that they have had your little sneak preview, a taster?
Yeah, I mean, we were just about to probably talk about it with what we saw, and we saw them get that Pyro and that Engineer Centric up like immediately. Probably what you'd expect. It's going to be up to the side of Dirty Maggots to think about exactly how they want to approach breaking open this last hold, but yeah, kind of a weird scenario now where it could be quite a while until we see another mid fight. So as much as I imagine Alien Workshop probably want to talk about mid, might not be super relevant immediately.
Well, So obviously these players have to do that. There we go. Okay, we're doing that. I was just watching all these players. Every one of them was busy DMing it up, and I was wondering, one of you has to start typing into the server Archon if you want things to happen. But they've managed to suss it out. They are starting for realsies now. I'd imagine it's just going to be a nice little concede for Dirty Maggots to get their mid, get their second, get onto last, and get all the defenses set up.
Yeah, not even venturing out just like that. Actually, no. Cheating here. We've got some sticky bombs set up in this lobby. This is not exactly the same scenario.
These were not kosher
before
bombs.
The reset.
I don't know. I mean, they can't look at the STV back just now, can they? They have to assume. So the sticky traps. Oh, the blind debt doesn't quite work out, and KN and AF sharing a moment of like, that was rude. Even trying to going for that gameplay. So on last we go. It's a very default sort of stage. Again, boiler cooker, yada yada. Let's see what 5 players Dirty Maggots have got installed here. I see a sniper.
I'm seeing Samus just playing around with the traffic going for a little bit. Kazuki's actually peeking in through that upper area, gets some spam down.
AF on the point, poking the point. So we've got the combination of sniper, the AF poking from the point, soldiers spamming the sentry gun. Eventually something's gotta give. If you keep throwing 6 sets of dice, you're gonna get some doubles. So let's see. But they're holding strong here over on Alien Workshop. Or should I say, like, I don't think actually there is that much dice rolling.
Of course, Zams actually. Thought for a minute, I mean, Bobo had a really decent chance of going for that Flash style shot, but didn't work out. But with catching Zams, I think they'd want to at least pressure out a second at the moment. No one's really chancing their hand here on Alien Workshop. They do have those 2 kind of slow anchor classes of that engineer and that pyro, so probably can't peek out too much, but you'd think they were going to make the most of a demo pick.
Yeah, bot mode's just going for those safe, tidy sort of angles over on Sniper, not really risking his butt. Will rotate to the main. See if we can maybe find Yimpo, who's hiding behind the pillar right now. Will kind of get bum rushed by Kazuki, but he trades with KN, and KN is looking a bit more lively and wants to kind of commit in. Yimpo brought down super low, will not have the ability or time to get a crossbow. And with no demo man, that makes the pressure cooker just that bit more volatile. And Onga, we need to play some more pumps. We've missed every single rocket reflex for your sentry gun, and now we even lose yourself as well. Voxy has gone for a dire sort of last strat pull from the heavy weapons guy. They pop off Uber though, so they just back out over on Dirty Maggots to play it safe.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have an exact read of how low Geordie was, but he was never really going to get the cap there, so I don't think that Uber was necessary there from Lucky, but maybe just a little bit of a miscommunication, a little bit of a misunderstanding exactly the scenario, and they pay the price for it. They've had to give up that Uber, and now Jux has a big advantage.
It's the pressure cooker, Dave. There's just so many things happening at once. Comms are getting spammed, and Ubers are being popped in. Alf is immediately got in, got the kill onto Kazuki. He's hightailing it right into the barrel of poor Yimpo, and will end up going down. And with no demo man on this last point, it's an easy round for Dirty Maggots here, and well played for them for finding all the sort of precious plays before this point.
Yeah, really, really nicely executed, just utilising that Uber, forcing players into those awkward spots where they didn't want to go, and taking so much damage. And then the cap time is really, really nice to double down on as well. So nice round for Dirty Maggots, and they're going to hope they can have as conclusive a mid-fight as last time.
How many mids will it take before you start thinking that this parachute is actually a good idea? But Geordie, he's not rocking it this time. He's actually going to go for a Classico soldier, go into elbow and spammo mode, and they've all backed into one little corner. Thankfully for Geordie, he can just keep safely spamming from his safe little corner, and yeah, all of them have gone down here for Alien Workshop. A nice sort of setup and control from Dirty Maggots. Very well played, I think, by Geordie. That was a very nice spot to kind of start.
Really nice pin. So Geordie and KN just everyone was bunched up and just finding so much damage. They're already locking these gamers out onto last as well. Boxes up on their pyro. They've got a heavy weapons to deal with as well. Kozuki's at least forced the Uber out. There's on the
Ken's
point.
on point though. Somebody has to stand on it. Phoenix and Kozuki and Voxy. Very nice from Alien Workshop here. Just a single little strain of hair will cap this point, but they haven't really got anybody to call forth to get onto it. And you got to give credit to Alien Workshop. That was looking like a pretty successful bin, but they weasel out of it.
Yeah, really, really nice repush there from Alien Workshop. As you say, looked daunting, looked difficult for them, and they did get a lot of cap time on Dirty Maggots, but the repush came through, and now they're onto their own second. It's quite a big Uber advantage actually here for Juxta, so that is a bit of a negative here for Alien Workshop, and they're not really positioned as if they have a significant Uber disadvantage, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think maybe showing a lot of respect to Alien Workshop. They don't really know what was happening during all the chaos, so they're going to just play it safe, play kind of calm, cool, collected. And what I want to mention in the little downtime is we haven't really seen much of Voxy in this game. He's been kind of deactivated on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it is probably a map you can't rely on that kind of pocket scout Uber quite as impactful as a map like Granary and a lot of the other more scout-friendly maps. But yeah, so far hasn't really got to play the game too much. We could see, if it gets a little bit scrappier, if it gets a bit messier and more free-flowing, maybe we'll see him come alive.
Interesting strategy put out by Alien Workshop though is usually you see the Demo Man kind of flicking between both Choke and Big Door. Alien Workshop, they just opt to put Yimpo straight in lobby. Like, okay, you are lobby lockdown man, you are not really going to hang out at Choke. They rotate him now, but there was a long period of his life where he was just all about that lobby area, but they rotate him out just because they lost those two soldiers. They want to kind of keep that defense as really on lockdown to keep Lucky alive here. Everyone's straying a bit far though from Lucky, and they pop off Uber very late here, but he's forcing a multi with the bot mode Uber. Onga's likely to go down, or maybe even Lucky, as he has to multi so much, but holds the high ground instead, and now he's plucking all of his hope and dreams into his teammates to stay alive and keep him alive. But those dreams are not real. They will be turning into a nightmare as Dirty Maggots will tear them apart limb by limb, one by one, as not everybody can really reconnect to their medic.
Yeah, it's a decent compression from Alien Workshop, but they just ran out of space. They held their SP too long until everyone was stuck in a corner, and eventually something had to give. Geordie weaseled his way in, found that frag out onto Lucky, and now it's going to be significant Uber advantage for Juxta.
Yes, no throws here by... Oh, okay. What the hell? The best defense is a good offense, I suppose, as they just throw in two soldiers, and my, have they delayed things? Have they delayed things? They're humouring the idea of maybe still going in with the Geordie Uber, but Geordie takes the sticky trap to the face and thinks against it.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out really nicely. It ended up being a 3-for-3 trade from Alien Workshop. It's so much harder to capitalise off that Uber advantage and get the cap time that you require to cap the last point if you've only got those three players up and one of them's a medic. So never really going to work out, but really good defensive play through offense to find a little bit of an edge there to slow their opponents down, and now they've built themselves enough time for their own.
Oh my god! Hotmo just came swinging in, and my Lucky, maybe we should have a name change.
Yeah, definitely unlucky there, but really, really nice shot from bot mode. They got the preview in the previous round, didn't work out quite that time, but this time he finds the shot. Impo is going to get taken out by Af underneath. Chance for a repush. Kane is sneaking underneath throughout all of this. They haven't found exactly what they wanted quite yet. Dirty Maggots, because he's still dueling with players in that spawn door. Kane gets a lot of cap time for his troubles, but there's still a heavy weapons guy.
This heavy weapons guy, he takes a rocket to the face, a couple of arrows as well. KN is still alive in the water, the little boogeyman. He even maybe challenges Phoenix in the water. And speaking of water, there's a shark. He smells the blood in the water. Afik comes in, and now they're both fighting for water again. They've managed to edge it out here, circling like sharks, and they will get their kill and their round.
Wow, that was, I mean, they didn't look great for a moment there for Dirty Maggots, but KN is just finding exactly what he would have wanted. Playing it nice and slow, just spamming that heavy down in combination with his medic jumpster as well. It's very, very nicely played. Just made himself a real nuisance in the water, getting 2 frags, and then allowing his scouts to clean up the round at the end of the day.
Oh, KN playing fast, playing through loose, and playing confident as we start off a mid, immediately being the first site to be shown and kind of just drawing space for his team. We'll follow up now on some nice little frags. Doesn't quite find the Kazuki kill, but the name of the game for Alien Workshop is just keep Private Lucky alive, and he will manage to look his way back to last. Building Uber with Voxtech for this defense. They've given up mid, they've given up second, they've even given a little bit of last.
Yeah, the mid fight's not working for Alien Workshop at the moment. I mean, that was slightly better. I mean, they're slightly improving. First mid fight, they didn't even really get into mid. The second mid fight, they didn't get any aggression going at all. But looks like they're fighting out towards second, which is a brave thing to do off a single pick.
Oh god, Dave Lucky is trying his best to just follow Voxy, but he's just taking all of his spam to the face. The spam that's rightfully supposed to be Voxy's, but he's like, sorry sire, sorry, I'm still gonna just keep walking through all the fires and flames and hope it works out. And in the post-hill fight, I believe it or not, it actually did work out.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that happened, but I guess Dirty Maggots, they didn't really get a successful position.
He smells him, he smells him, he's around the corner, he's here. The smelly, dirty little goblin, corner goblin will go down. Geordie punished for his cornering ways, and we are going to get a nice little stack, so no Geordie forward spawn, and bot mode still rocking that sniper class. And good luck trying to make a snipe from that angle, my friend, but they are going to hold on to second, even though there's an Uber Charger almost ready and waiting for Lucky.
Yeah, sniper apiece, but probably best to have on the defensive situation when the Ubers are not even, like a scenario like this. So, but actually, because he just jumps up, scares everyone, forces everyone out of second, and they take it nice and cleanly. I mean, Jux is going to be up at Uber on his own time, but done a really good job here at Alien Workshop of utilising this advantage to get themselves onto their opponent's last.
Yeah, Gullywash is awfully cool. They have an Uber advantage, but it's one of the most volatile places for having Uber. A medic can't really jump up to high ground, can he? So he's going to have to sit on the ground. Oh, point play. Phoenix chilling on the point will get the force out of them. And Brass B's coming up on bot mode. That's a very particular choice made by the American. He wasn't rocking that before, so it was a very clear, conscious, flavoured setup by bot mode to switch out there, and it worked in dividends.
Well, possibly. I mean, they did get forced at the end of the day. I mean, it was a really nice play, honestly, from Alien Workshop. They sent 2 players underneath the same time they had their sniper peek in. So, 2 players had to drop down to the point to combat the 2 players lurking underneath, and they got those easy frags, they got the gap time, and they got the force, and now they have an Uber to work with.
Any day now, Lucky. Any day now. As we're finally going to go in. We've got the Uber charge, we've got crit screen ready because they took so long, but 1, 2 sneakies cleaned off the point. It's a crit! Brass Beast! Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat, but he's got no pat from his feet. He can't climb onto the point quick enough. Who cares if he's a beast, if he's made of brass?
Oh my days. I mean, those brass beast lasers were doing so much damage, just minced 3 players down. But it was all for naught because the other 3 players just stood on the point. And there we go. Very, very nice stuff. Alien Workshop back in the game.
I'm pretty sure like the Brass Beast has lived for a good 5 minutes there. Rest in peace, beautiful prince. As I don't think that gun is going to be brought out anytime soon. Onga, he's skill checking the demo man and alongside his soldier buddy. Lucky is just praying, clapping his hands together and following Voxy through all hell and let loose. And my God, he will not be rewarded for his choice. He actually has to hit the kill bind, but yeah, I
bow
think
as well.
the gameplay's just simplified now, Dave. Lucky is just following Voxy round, and everybody else is just doing whatever the heck they want on mid.
Yeah, these mid fights no good at the moment for Alien Workshop. They can't get any purchase. They're getting immediately destroyed pretty much every time. They're not even really launching their soldiers in. They're finding no damage, no position, and yeah, that's just really sad. When your demo man and your medic both have to kill bind to get a faster spawn, you know it's over.
Oh wait, did Yimpo kill bind as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Well, I don't know why you need to kill bind, my guy. You are a kill bind. Okay, anyway, he's Yimpo. He's being pressured at last. He won't kill bind this time, but he gets killed. And yeah, it's a pretty simple gameplay. Kill Devil Man, cap blast, win game. As third round will be hitting upon Dirty Maggots. 14 minutes left. There's still some Cinderella time, but not every film is, ends like a Disney movie here, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, they're back in the game for about 40 seconds there, but that is a brutal reality check. DM coming back with a really quick round, really devastating chokehold on that round. Phoenix, though, is going to jump up and look to duel Geordie, but Geordie hits him with 2 nice rockets, wall shot, air shot. Beautiful stuff from him. They've been able to get into this mid, but not too much else. Voxy looking to come up. Oh, Kaya absolutely destroys him there.
Yeah, you're seeing the disadvantages of kind of surrendering the high ground and just playing from the low ground. Obviously, it's a better place to kind of absorb the aggression if it goes into you. But then there's that awkward walk-up where both teams establish, like, yes, we are in the places we want to be. Where do we take it from here? So then Voxy has to walk up this tiny little doorway where he eats the most KN rockets of all time and then immediately loses the fight because of it. This is why playing low ground is really hard in TF2.
Yeah, absolutely. And might have to do a little bit more there. I mean, at least this time they're not stuck on last. At least they got control of their second, so they got some purchase onto the territory at least. But there are a couple of rounds down. There's still enough time to work with. Bot mode once more up on the sniper, looking to open things up from Victor.
Alright, bot mode, I'm looking at your POV now, so you better start clicking some heads or I'm going to start demanding something back. Okay, we get an Uber charge from his point of view. That's a bit scary for a sniper, as he's probably going to go down to the land of the dying, and they're doing an awfully good job actually on Alien Workshop. To say it's an aggressive Uber, but they play really greedy over on Juxta. They have their own Uber charge. Kazuki comes barreling in. I think they actually are playing a bit too passively for my liking. I think they should have committed a few more players there. To say he bought so much space and ammunition out of Dirty Maggots, Phoenix could have jumped in and maybe got the kill, or at least the force.
Yeah, they didn't follow up on Kazuki's damage.
Now
I mean,
he
everyone
jumps
was
in.
back on the cap. But a little bit rough, and actually here, seeing Geordie go in and get so much value.
Oh no, they see Lucky and okay. Oh, he hits his head, he hits his feet on the ground, but he gets the health back. But everybody else has gone down for it, and we still haven't used the stinking Uber charge of Dirty Maggots.
Yeah, this is milking of his life, and Juxta just pushed all the way back to second with only a couple of players to work with. Rebounding, springing back now on their opponent's second. Now thinking of moving in towards the last. Lucky's built up his own Uber throughout that miraculous survival throughout all of that.
Oh my
fight.
god,
And actually they're
Uber
going to trade it
They've
in
got
lobby.
Juxta. This time he has to use Uber. He has to find the button. He clicks it, and they will lose Zams during the fight. Bot mode is just chilling on Cypher when all of this is going down. But Lucky will go down to an aggressive AF, a nice little trade out on the grand scheme of things. And now they know what they want to do. They want to bum rush Juxta, and they're going to play right into Geordie's hands. Yimpo is playing just kind of vibe TF2, hoping that he can kind of play into the aggressive stance that they have to take over on Alien Workshop, and it will work out. It doesn't work out, but yeah, I think it was just a very tough Uber for Alien Workshop to make.
I mean, it was a nice idea, and the Uber worked out okay, but just after did such a good job of, launching himself in kind of a cluster of players that no one really knew exactly where he was.
Oh dear.
As the Uber faded, found
Oh
the
dear,
crucial frag.
feed. holy feed happening in 2 different locations. Fortunately, Geordie's going to counter feed over on the riverside, and it gives a bit of respite, but they've got an uber charge. Oh no, but that's still a mechanic in the game, and Lucky has to just do the dance of his people. Will go down. Af already sending cap time onto the point. Everybody else is almost like an afterthought. It's a 4th round on the board for Dirty Maggots. Say it ain't so. Are we actually going to hit the 5-round mark?
Yeah, potentially here. Definitely on the cards, I think. I mean, they're doing their best here, Alien Workshop. I think I like how they're doing. I like how they're continuing to play aggressive and continuing to kind of disconcert their opponents. But you can see Dirty Maggots, they're kind of wising up a little bit to it. They're expecting this kind of random aggression coming in, and for the last few minutes, they've just been dealing with it really well.
Right. Zam's immediately not taking aggressive ground. He's just going to get into his safety elbow and then deal with the punches as they come. And now, after the initial wave, they don't really find anyone. Zam's going to get kind of plucked out of the sky, but that's okay. Everybody else is doing just fine over on Dirty Maggot. It's a clean, well, basically a clean wipe if you discount Zam's, and we may be even potential of bidding here, despite no Demoman.
Yeah, that was just a mess of a mid-fight from Alien Workshop. Everyone was really scattered. There was a couple of pairs of players here and there, but they just got dealt with by a much more cohesive blob from Dirty Maggots and ended up finding those crucial final frags they required. Now they have a big advantage. They've rotated all the way over to this water area and now looking to move in.
Yep, so they're in. They kill out the sentry gun immediately. They've just captured second now. Yimpo has got the thankless task of sitting behind water and just taking an Uber scout to the face. Hey, look, it's that 5th round we were talking about. And I think that means the game's over. There's no Banner config to save you this time, red and blue team.
Yeah, not going to be there. I mean, this was pretty chastening for Alien Workshop. I think the context of the game really, I mean, we'll probably look at it in the logs in a minute. I think they lost every mid-fight, and most of them were not particularly close. Like, they really didn't get going. They couldn't win the mids, and when you can't win your mids on 5CP, and potentially any game mode, really, it's very, very difficult. And, Dirty Maggots, they were pretty clean on a lot of their last pushes as well. Alien Workshop had their moments where they kind of made miraculous saves. They kind of brought themselves back in the game. But if you lose near enough every mid fight, it's almost impossible.
It's a cool storyline of a map. I think definitely there were moments for Alien Workshop that were admirable, even honestly impressive, especially like some of those last holds, some of those low conversions. But they seem to mainly be backed on this second point. I think the second point was a hard struggle for them. I didn't think there was always these really clever exchanges from Dirty Maggots where they managed to just force and focus the right people, put a lot of aggro in the right place, and then just come in with that solo scout Uber that just does so much work for them and kind of teaches people what makes these solo Ubers so tasty and good in TF2. And then Lucky just has to try and bail everybody out, but there's just way too much on his plate to deal with, and it just kind of falls apart at the seam there. And then losing on seconds basically feels like an auto lose, and there's too many times we saw the bin being slapped out in this game, and it shouldn't really be happening in a Prem level game like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few numbers to look at. Juxta ended up with positive kill to death, 2 kills, just 1 death. Impressive stuff. Clean 6 mid-fights to 0 for Dirty Maggots as well. That was really the story of the game.
Yeah,
overall,
the only thing that I think was a blemish on the Dirty Maggots gameplay was bot mode was like, guys, I've still got my pub build loadout loaded.
true.
Even though I swear he had the regular minigun. So he made a conscious decision, or maybe a conscious accidental press of a preset loadout to go to the brass piece. So, you get what you pay for, I suppose.
Absolutely. Just, that one round thrown in with the brass beast. Nice stuff there. But yeah, actually, I've seen KN's damage as well is crazy. 371 DPM. That is that's pretty scary.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It is a lovely soldier map. Anyway, as much as I want to bang on about soldiers, I've got a huge array of lovely scheduling to talk to you about, David, because obviously this is our ETF2L season. Hey, woo, yay, woo. And with that conclusion, that means we've got more on the horizon here. So, so coming this week over on our first array, it will be Friday. And we've got Essential Intelligence. It's our little podcast that we dust off and whip out every now and then, especially when it comes to pre-LAN. So we're going to do a nice little Poland TF 2026 preview. And it's not just going to be D-Mool on the podcast moaning about how much his French team would be slapping everybody if they did manage to go to LAN. No. We actually have the group previews. So if you want to tune into that, I won't lie, there's probably going to be some of D-Mool doing that. But we've also got Wandom there. We've also got bot mode there. It's going to be a nice fun time. And hopefully a very balanced evening of calling everybody bad in TF2. All right. And then over on Saturday night, we have the playoffs, the start of the playoffs. That is going to be our lower bracket semi-final, and then the upper bracket final, which obviously is going to contain all the other teams that we're not seeing tonight because they took all the points over on Dirty Maggots. So you probably won't see them until it comes to, obviously that upper bracket final, and then potentially in the Sunday games, which is going to be the lower bracket final and the grand final. And I know you don't want to miss those because there's no witness. We don't know what the result is going to be, Dave.
Yeah, it's could be very, very close. You got some strong teams in Premiership, but as you say, you don't have that one real standout team of witness that have just been destroying everyone for the last couple of years. So could be very, very interesting.
Okay, Dave. Okay, I hear the skepticism in your voice. Don't worry. I've got one last little spice for you. The playoffs is going to use the overtime config. The freedom config is being slapped out. You could be watching 5 hours of TF2 in your screen. I'm not talking total playtime. I'm talking like one round in one Gullywash map. It could be a really fun time. You don't want to miss it. It could be history being made here in this ETF2L season. So you have to be there, Dave, right?
Absolutely. I think it's the first time I've casted on the Banny config. I know you had a great time last year, TurboTabs, with one of those RGL lands.
Yeah, that's I was mysteriously I couldn't be here for the yeah. I wonder what. No. I love it though. I love I'll watch it, just not cast it. Anyway. But yeah, so that's obviously what's going on this weekend. And if you're completely living under a rock and you feel like you only have time for one TF2 based thing in your life this month, for the love of God, watch Poland next week. It's going to be happening on the 1st of March. Please be there. All your lovely TF2 friends and family are going to be showing up. Everybody's going to be intercontinental America, Europe. There's an Australian rule set. So, that counts. All right, Dave, anything else before we close out here?
No, I think you've done a great job summing it up. So thank you, TurboTabs, and thank you, Samus, on production as well.
Good enough. Close the stream.